My name is Sarah.
John?
Carol.
I'm soft, please.
And we chose our topic to be the economic benefits of federal legalization of marijuana. Before we start, I just want to address that we chose this topic because we know how controversial of an issue it is within society today, and especially amongst our generation. And collectively, as a group, we all see the potential benefits and the potential business opportunities that the legalization of marijuana at a higher level could bring to our economy. Okay, so there's more to it than just its medical benefits. By this, I'm referring to the sort of image that society has created for the marijuana industry and its benefits up to this point. So most people have just recently started becoming familiar with the fact that marijuana can be used for multiple medical benefits. And so this leads a lot of people, especially those who are uneducated on the subject, to sort of assume that those are its only benefits. So however, this is not the case. What a lot of people don't know is that the marijuana industry has a lot of economic benefits as well. We just need to sort of implement legalization at a higher level in order for these benefits to start taking effect. Here we have a few of them listed. So there's eco-friendly industrial uses. It has the potential to increase tax revenue and also reduce government spending. And then there's another one that is not listed, but it does have the potential to help decrease our federal deficit. So I want to point out, before we go to the next slide, that this presentation, we are strictly focusing on the business aspect and the economic aspects of the marijuana industry. We understand that it has individual uses, it's really good for health benefits, but we wanted to stick to sort of the economic side of things and get you guys to understand those important uses. So next I'm going to hand it off to John. He's going to talk about how the current legal status of marijuana puts restrictions on these sort of uses.
Okay. After learning about some of the different benefits of marijuana, the real question is, what's really restricting us from utilizing the full economic impact? The answer is the federal government. Although it is state legal for medical and recreational use, the federal government has placed different restrictions to prevent reaching its full potential. We have three real restrictions that we outlined. First one is trade and business trafficking. You can't trade hemp products, marijuana products over state borders. It's really slowed down everything, slowed down the process. The second one is business expenses. So the federal law prevents companies from taking deductions or receiving credit because it's considered trafficking of a controlled substance. And you cannot deduct legit, legal, or business expenses. Banking, the availability of financial services. Federal law prevents any chartered banks or credit unions from providing them with any financial services. This is considered money laundering. It deprives the business access to normal services that other companies might get, putting them a step behind. Now, these are just a few of the restrictions that conflict between state and federal government, and many of these hurdles have handicapped the market. I'm going to hand it off to Saf, who are going to talk about some solutions.
So what's next? How do we move closer to the solution of the federal legalization of marijuana in the states? We basically have to look at the potential benefits of it, and that's the big part that people is like there's a lot of recreational, medical benefits, but not people don't understand the industrial benefits of it. So we basically have to move past the stigma the social stigma as a society at looking at it as like this bad plan, because there's a whole other side of it that people don't know of. So how would federal legalization benefit our economy? So increased tax revenue. So estimated it's 1.5 billion in payroll and sales revenue, and it is another 1 billion in state and local revenue expected to be made if it was to go legal federally completely in all 50 states. To take a better look at this, if we look at Colorado, in Colorado they made 70 million in taxes, and for alcohol they only made 42. And another benefit is better use of law enforcement. So all the efforts that go into enforcing marijuana and drug trafficking and all that will basically be diminished to estimated about $7.7 billion estimated yearly for what could be saved. The potential industrial uses, that's a big one on this, considering it's an economical benefit. And there's a lot of industrial uses with that. So what the big industrial uses is hemp. And with hemp we can create a lot of different eco-friendly materials such as plastics, fuel, paper. And another benefit of this is help decrease the federal deficit. So with all the savings of the law enforcement and all the tax revenue that we get, that will be able to use for the federal deficit. And here we basically have a chart for what hemp is and what we can basically make out of it. So I don't know if you knew, but for every 4 acres of trees, we can make for every 1 acre of we can make enough paper for 4 acres of trees. So in the long run, if we look at that, and it could be a huge benefit to the economic crisis that we're currently having. And we're going to hand it off to Carol to what we can take for action.
So, how to take action? We must get involved. Currently, 8 states have the legalization of marijuana. So the states include Colorado, Maine, Nevada, Oregon, Alaska, Washington, California, and Massachusetts. 28 out of 50 states allow for the use of medical marijuana. Staying informed is important. You can raise your voice, send petitions. There are websites such as petitions.movon.org, which petition to end prohibition of marijuana across the U.S. When you educate others and present people with facts, you may persuade them to change their minds. There's a negative stigma behind marijuana, but marijuana offers so many benefits to our country, it should not be ignored. We live in Massachusetts where marijuana is legal, but there are plenty of states where it's not, where they're legal for medical use. These states can support Congress' decision to vote yes for any Marijuana Prohibition Act, H.R. 1227. This act eliminates federal criminal penalties for possessing and growing the plant and gives the state the authority to regulate the fair how they see fit.
So does anybody have any questions about this, or about where we stand and what our point was for this presentation?
Why did you pick it?
I mentioned earlier, the reason we picked it is because we do know how controversial of an issue it is, and a lot of people are to say the least, uneducated on the fact that marijuana isn't just like what people think it is as a drug. Like, it has a lot of industrial uses. A lot of people don't know the other forms of use that it has, that not necessarily just for smoking marijuana. It has the hemp plant that you can use for things like paper, things like plastic, all that stuff that's bad for the environment. It has a lot of uses that are, or a lot of things that can be used for that are not so bad for the environment, and we should start utilizing that to sort of save our planet.
Okay.
How would you guys combat the issue of like smoking and driving? Because like when you drink alcohol and consume alcohol, you can test for how much alcohol you drink, but if you consume pot and then drive, it still affects your driving, but you can't test how much pot you smoke.
I think it's definitely issue that's coming out with legalization because technically like that could be issues on OUI, but you can test if the operator is like able to operate a vehicle with a field sobriety test, but the only thing they can do is like a blood test, but I don't think that's an actual legal thing yet, or if they can actually do it.
That'd be tricky. That's one of the issues when it's
Would we count as like the pills that they tell you don't drink but you drive, like certain pills?
oh yeah, like prescription drugs, they don't
Don't
operate machinery under.
Yeah,
So yeah, it kind
definitely.
of falls under that.
Yeah, well, it's definitely gonna be looked at as more of like a recreation.